think I went live on my channel. I'm not sure. I think so. But
So, anyways,
no, the economy's not that bad.
no, I mean, actually, that's I mean, being in Arkansas, you get these, I mean, actually, it's actually, I was kidding, BJ when I said, what I noticed when, in the last year, if the three times, that I've taken her now to Arkansas, the amount of, people that had these big signs up, Trump won the election, and all, they're all gone. Right? All those signs have disappeared now. They still have the Trump 2024 stuff up, but you don't see the people, like it's not like everywhere, right? You don't see these huge, things. You don't see the anti-Biden, signs that were there 6 months ago are gone. So,
Yeah, well, I don't really follow the politics too much, but
yeah.
finally friggin' rained in New York.
He's here 6 months ago. Still hasn't opened. Can't hire employees. Yeah, that was the thing in Arkansas. Most of the restaurants now close, right? Usually between the hours of 2 and 5 or 2 and 6 p.m. because they don't have enough people to keep them open.
You go to states that I don't even want to admit that they're part of the U.S.
No. Why is that?
Because they're such crappy places.
Well, that's the interesting thing is, I mean, Arkansas is such a,
Well, here's the thing: the place itself may be, visually, aesthetically pleasing, but unfortunately, it's the people that give you the feel of the place.
well, I mean, I don't really deal with them that much. I mean, and actually, the area where my parents live, okay, basically, here, let me see. I can show you. Right. Here's I'll show the new house. Let me get pictures here.
I'm saying they built a new Arby's.
Yeah, I took here.
Arby's.
Let's see. So, all right, let me see. How do I do this? All right, let me start my camera. I have to do it through the camera because I can't figure out how to get my. I did something where I didn't. I said no, I don't want to download my pictures onto the computer from my camera, and now it won't let me access them either. All right, so there's BJ and here.
Yeah.
The other house.
Tyvek.
Hi. Hold on. Yeah. See, so that's the view looking the other way, overlooking Norfolk Lake.
Yeah, it's aesthetically pleasing. I get that.
Oh, yeah. And there's the house.
A lot of the people who live there are so backwards. I just
don't and there's the house. That. So, I mean, these houses, go for, I mean, what, the neighborhood.
150?
Huh?
150, 80?
Yeah, no, more like 800K and up.
In that location?
Yeah.
That's surprising. You must have found like an inlet of people with brains and money there.
Yeah, well, I mean, almost everybody that lives there. Now, there's the house that I have for my parents is on the other side of the street. And that one's about 200K, 250-ish. And there are a couple of people. There's a little side road that drops down into the holler area that's been there forever. And that's basically, those are poor folk. I mean, they bought those houses back, 50, 70, 80 years ago. And they were cabins that became houses. And, like they're.
I mean, these places where there's hollers and things of this nature. I mean, to me, I might as well be in a different country.
Well, it's, holler is nothing more than a valley.
Yeah. Like the same people live for 5 generations and they're all into bread. I know.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, mountain homes kind of, but the actual mountain home people, yeah, they're a different breed. And a lot of, like when you get out of that area, I mean, most of the people that live, in the area where my parents are, because this is all around Norfolk Lake. these are mostly people out of Chicago and Minneapolis area. That came down there. That had money. I mean, they built houses. Back 20, 30, 40 years ago, there were these big houses that overlooked this. Overlooked the lake, and yeah, it's like this house. I mean, it's the one next door. The one next door just sold for $1.6 million, and it's not going to be as nice as this house. So
that's I guess I from what I'm hearing, you're seriously considering moving there.
well, yeah, I mean, well, BJ kind of likes the area. She's not real fond about the idea that it does get cold in the winter, but it's not. I mean, you'll have a few days. You'll have a few days where it'll snow, and the next day it'll be 40, 45. You don't get. You usually don't get. You're not going to get a month of, sub-zero temperatures, or even a month of temperatures below 30. Let's see.
And I'm just not country folk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be, I mean, you'd have a hard time there because, I mean, they just opened a Holiday Inn. What do they call it? Executive? I don't know. A Holiday Inn Suites or something like that.
Executive Suites.
Yeah. They opened one there, like a 50-bed hotel, and that's like, ooh, we have. Reminds me of that old movie, the one where Patrick Swayze played the bouncer, and the guy that ran the little town says, "We got goddamn J.C. Penney here. They came here because of me." That's kind of what that town reminds. That's what Mountain Home reminds me of. It's like, yeah, I mean, we've got, they pride themselves. They don't have a mall. They do actually have an Asian market. A little Philippine gal.
Didn't you say you were retiring?
Yeah.
Yep. When's that happening?
Well, that's what we talked about on this trip. I said, I'm going to stay working. BJ wants me to stay working until she gets her nursing license.
How many years is that?
Huh?
How long is that?
Hey, there's Chi. Doris, hi, Chi. Actually, she's going to take her NCLEX exam next month.
Hi, Chi.
If she passes it, she'll have her license.
Oh, so in a few months?
Yeah, over the next few months. I told her, I said, I mean, she wants to go back. Her daughter graduates nursing school. Let's see, next spring. And she wants
no plans to go back to the Philippines?
Yeah, well, we're going to go back. We're going to go back and, for her daughter's thing, and then probably spend a few months there because I got to get some stuff built.
Yeah, you haven't been there like 10 years.
I know, but I want to get this new house built, and I want to get, a couple other things done.
Oh, you're building that house? That you already bought it and everything?
What's that?
The house? You mean the one in Philippines, or are you talking about the one in Arkansas?
No, the one in the Philippines. I'm going to build another house in the Philippines.
Well, the first thing you'll have to do is correct all the mistakes they made on the first one. Then after that, you should start on the second.
No. I mean, the first one. No, the first one's all taken care of. It's, I mean, there's a couple of minor things I want to do, but I want to build a bigger, nicer house, and more of a, be very Western. And then we just bought 8 lots in a new subdivision, right along the highway, up by the Robinson Mall. Remember where you went for pizza? Up by Robinson Mall, the Shakey's Pizza or whatever it was.
In Valencia.
Yeah. So right, the highway that kind of shoots to the west of there. place called Don Carlos, which is a couple of miles up that highway.
I heard of it. I don't think.
Yeah,
Go
we
with that.
so we just bought 8 lots just off that highway, like a block off the highway. And she wants to put, I told her, I said, we'll put, I'm gonna design up some. Want to design up some apartments, put in like 40 apartments in those lots.
Well, that'll be good. BJ will have a nice
Mhm.
portfolio.
Yeah, and then I got to get some stuff taken care of at the farm. Some upgrades made. But I told her, I said, yeah, so, but she wants, she gets her nursing license. She'll work a few months here, and we'll go over and take care of that, and then probably, when I leave, I'll sell the house here in Arizona, and move to Arkansas.
When's the house supposed to be done?
It'll be done. Say 3 months, 2 to 3 months. Because I'm not pushing. I'm not in a rush, and I'm doing a little bit here, a little bit there. I don't want them. I don't want them making decisions. Let me put it that way, because when they weren't very good ones.
Welcome, Lady Farmer.
Lady Farmer,
Nice to see you.
how you doing?
Did you hear that they caught a serial killer in New York?
Yeah, I heard that, and I was surprised. He called me for bail money, and I said, "Oh, okay, it wasn't him. Okay, never mind."
I know you say that in a joking way, and that's how I take it. But the thing is that whenever you hear like a description of a serial killer, kept to himself, quiet, hardworking, all of that. I fit like everything except the actual killing part.
Yeah, they said it. That's what I said when I was reading it. So, yeah, except when they said he was an architect, they said, okay, then no, okay, it wasn't JG.
No, definitely not. It
Yeah.
takes too much work.
No, if they would have said he was a banker or something, I said, oh shit.
No, but this
Yeah, I know. I was
this
reading
guy.
it.
Well, let me tell the story.
Okay.
So I think it was like 2008 to 2010 or something like that. And what they started finding women's bodies by the beach. It was not really on the beach, but it was more like one of the roads that go through there where you can access it.
Yeah.
And he just started killing women that were mostly like 20-something-year-old escorts.
Mm-hmm.
And he would kill them and then hide them like near this park or near the beach.
Well, I mean, I think that's one thing that
they didn't. Well, those bodies, they didn't find them until December. So now you're talking about like going from summertime, like June, July, August, like around now time.
Hey, Mike.
And they eventually found the bodies in December of later that year.
Right. But yeah, but
Hey,
I mean,
Mike.
a lot of people don't realize, because I guess they don't think about it. I mean, New York City, there are places in New York City that are pretty kind of rural looking. They're not actually in the city, but when you get out in Long Beach or even just
when you get basically you have the 5 boroughs. That stuff would be really hard to pull off here just because of the amount of people. But
there are places you could, I mean, every once in a while they find a body, in
yeah, well, a lot of times that's like drug deals gone bad and stuff like that. But this is just in Nassau County. Like this is just right over the border of New York City.
And I mean, there are actually farms still out there. Big shortage of nurses in Arkansas. Oh yeah, they're hurting. They're hurting for nurses all across the country. And actually, my wife's getting her nursing license in New York State.
So this guy, he turns out, so he ended up, well, they don't have it all. They have him on 3 now. They're trying to connect him to the others. But basically it was 10 women, a guy, I think it was probably one of the escorts drivers because they were escorts.
Right.
and some kid, I guess, that just happened to be there, killed him too.
Uh,
And he got away with it for over 10 years.
yeah. And I was reading it had something to do with somebody said, hey, let's dig into this old serial killer case, because and they brought in a bunch of people, and everybody's going over all the old evidence. And
Well,
somebody,
what happened was is that they couldn't find him at the time. So then years go by, and then fairly recently, I think within the last year, there was a podcast that
Mhm.
their like podcast show is talking about serial killers and murderers. So they had talked about this one, Silgo Beach in New York, Long Island, and that's what like resparked it, because it was like pretty much he got away with it.
Yeah.
But the podcast sparked people's interest in starting to look into it again.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you know how they identified, they don't have him linked with the girls themselves. They had like he had hair, because he wrapped them up in, I think it was like tarps,
yeah.
and
Burlap
buried
bag
them.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and like one of his hair fell out and went into the bag, and
Lorna, what are
they
you doing?
matched they matched that DNA. Aloha, Hapsters! Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, they found something like his wife's hair in one of the burlap bags, or one of the in the bottom of a burlap bag. They found a woman's hair. It wasn't the victim, and then they traced it back and matched it to his wife.
Well, do you know how so they took that DNA from the hair and they had to match it against something.
Yeah,
And what they actually did was they went through his garbage, and one of my biggest loves in life, pizza.
yeah,
They got the DNA off the
yeah.
pizza
They got his
crust,
pizza off the pizza crust. Yeah,
off the
They came
pizza
out with
crust, to match it to the hair in the bag that he wrapped the girls in. You talk
yeah.
about, wow.
Well, that'll teach you. That'll teach you.
Yeah, that'll teach you. Eat that crust. Don't leave anything behind.
Pizza crust. Eat your pizza crust and wipe your fingerprints off the box, for God's sake. Yeah.
Well, back when he did it,
But then
they
it got
didn't
into one of my favorites is burner phones.
yeah, he had burner phones,
Yeah.
but that was back in the day, like 2008. It's not the same smartphone we have today.
Well, yeah, but I guess that's how he was contacting. He was doing using like
Thank
Twitch
you.
or Tumblr. What is it? Tumblr or Thumbler or whatever. He was using one of those apps, and that's where he's finding these gals. He's using burner phones.
Well, they were
And
saying that, but it could
yeah,
and
but they got him because he walked in. He walked. One of the things I noticed in their list was he had bought a recharge, okay, for his burner phone, and he walked out and he threw the receipt away. I paid cash for it. Right? They'd been following him. They grabbed the receipt, right? And then now they have the information that they needed to say, hey, right, what's the phone number of this charge or this.
Hi, Tim. Welcome in.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but so with this guy, so he turns out that he's a father of two.
yeah.
A boy and a girl. He's an architect.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, nice family man, and it's like that serial killer in Oklahoma. When they caught him, a member that a big church member and everything, and his wife had no idea.
And I read this thing on it also, that back when it happened and they found the bodies, they had one of the profilers.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrote a report that it like matches the guy perfectly, because it was a member of the community. They all had an idea that it was, because like to know the certain roads and where he hid the bodies, like they even said, like, you have to know your business over here.
Yeah.
This guy just lived amongst his neighbors.
Well, that's, unfortunately, that's how these people get by with doing what they do.
Lazy Larry. Welcome, Larry. Welcome, Larry.
So
But
yeah,
yeah, so I mean, this guy was a real psychopath.
I
I
mean,
I, I even read one
he
story,
worked
right?
out.
So he was killing those young escorts,
Hmm.
and he grabbed one of their phones and had called, the dead girl's sister, who was 16, and was like
Yeah,
taunting her. Like,
yeah.
what kind of a monster? Where does that come from?
I don't know. No,
I mean,
I
is
mean,
that like bad parenting, or is it like just being born evil? Like, what is it?
yeah. I mean, there again. I mean, going back to an old movie adage, there was that movie.
Welcome, BT.
There was the movie. What is it called? The Seven Sins or something like that. And I remember Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman played the cops, and there was this guy who was going around and killing people based off of the Catholic, seven mortal sins things. And Brad Pitt turns around, looks at him, he says, "When you're doing all this stuff," he said, "do you realize you're fucking nuts?
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, yeah. Or do you just think it's normal?" And yeah, you wonder, did this guy, I mean, okay, he killed these gals. He hid the
here's the
body.
other.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing, Scott. He had to do all of this since he was married with children. He
Hmm.
had to do it when his wife and children were out of town. So, like, he would send them up to, like, Nantucket for a couple of weeks or a week.
Yeah,
And that's
but
when he would fit in
I
his
guess, I guess,
killing.
yeah, I guess, part of it was, I mean, even after he stopped killing them, he was still, hitting up the escorts, prostitutes, even after. For some reason, he killed them in the beginning, and then he stopped killing them. They
So
don't
you
know
think,
why.
so you think after he stopped killing them, he just kept meeting up with them for sex? They don't even know at this point that he had sex with any of those girls.
Yeah, I mean, but no, they said he's still, then they found a burner phone, I guess, on him, or in his car or whatever, that or his office, that where it shows that he was still contacting, you know, women in the so-called escort, prostitution world.
Yeah,
You know,
Lady Pharma
the
says,
internet.
no heart, just pure evil. The brain is not
Mhm.
be able to think right. Yeah, well, but you know about that Lady Pharma is that, yeah, he wasn't able to think right. He was murdering people, but he was getting
Government
up every day, seeing the kids off to school, going to work.
well,
Like,
well,
how do
here's the
you
thing.
do that and just go like back like you're living a normal life?
Well, that's just like the guy in Oklahoma. I mean, this guy was I mean, he was the guy that beat the usher, the elder in the church, the guy that everybody liked. I mean, he would go out with the youth groups, camping and things like that, and married kids, and so forth. But then he go out and break into young women's houses and rape them and kill them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing here too. Like, but they don't even know that he had any sex with them. They don't know
Yeah.
that. It might be he may have, but they don't know that.
Life is good is in the house.
Welcome, life is good. I was just talking a little bit about the serial killer that was caught in Long Island this week.
But probably,
Killed, killed 10 women, one child, and one man.
well, see, here, right?
Tropical Tim, welcome.
What's up? I was in TT's old stomping grounds. We had, BJ and I had dinner at Golden Corral in Amarillo.
I thought you were in Wisconsin.
Oh. We went to Arkansas, and then we stopped at Amarillo on the way back. Ate at the Golden Corral.
That's,
Where they
that's
still
a
have
fancy
pictures
place.
of hanging on the wall with dartboard. There's a dartboard. I don't know what that was all about.
Is that the place where like you can eat the gigantic steak and it's free?
Yeah, I think so. No. That's
Roadhouse.
the Big Texan. The Big Texan.
Yes, I've
I,
been
I did.
fascinated by
I did
that
try. I did
story.
try the big Texan challenge when I was young.
And you ate meat.
I didn't. I didn't quite make it. The 4.5 pounds. I did get through the 4.5 pound steak, and and then
Tim said, glad they caught him. Now I can relax, stop being on the run looking over my shoulders. Well, that's the thing about this guy, man. That's so sick. Like, he didn't run, he just stayed in the community,
oh yeah, I mean,
killed a
mo-
whole bunch
most,
of people, went to work the next day.
but most serial killers don't. I mean, look at what was it? What was the guy up
Hey,
in
you know
Seattle?
what? That guy, he probably gave the guy who was dating his daughter a hard time. This is the man out there, serial
When I
killer.
worked for the fire department, okay, Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Little strange, you know, little strange. You know, didn't I worked Med 5, met him, uh, seemed a little off, a little strange, but nothing that you would think, oh, this guy's carving people up in his apartment and killing them. And the officer in charge said, it's just a boy thing. Let him go. And and it turned out it was a 14-year-old, boy, and he walked him up to the apartment, walked him in there, and took a drill and ran it up in the back of his head and killed him minutes later. And
Life is good as saying he once ate a rump roast that was so fresh it still had one fart left in it.
yeah, but yeah, I mean I mean the craziness of people is never, I mean, when I was in the army, I mean, man's inhumanity to man never ceased to amaze me. I mean, you know,
Just the depravity of it all.
like Tim says here, they don't do anything that's out of the ordinary other than they kill people. And to them, that's not out of the ordinary. I mean, God knows there are, I mean, I've said it many times. There's a lot of people alive just because I know that, they have a death penalty in this state for killing somebody. And, and that's been a deterrent. But as I get older, it's becoming less and less of a deterrent.
Well, you know what the big deal is that this guy is being charged with murder in the first degree,
Yeah.
which you would say like no shit. But the only thing is, here in New York, they don't ever charge anyone with murder one unless it's like a cop.
Yeah.
Or
Well, I mean, but even then, Ken says Dahmer grew down the road from me in Bath, Ohio. Yeah.
But what causes it? I mean, really? I mean, I'm not that.
I
I
mean,
haven't
here,
watched so many
here,
shows on
here,
serial
here.
killers, but like, did they have like normal parents? I mean, did they have like
I
what's the
mean,
background?
Dahmer's parents, from what I read and heard, seemed like they're all right. You know,
But I mean, he had a mother and a father, and
I mean, here's everybody's kind of jumping in on the Dahmer thing. Here's the thing: Jeffrey Dahmer went to work every day at a chocolate factory,
that,
right? And the people there said, yeah, he's he was kind of quiet and stayed pretty much himself, and and he sometimes shooting star, what's up? And
welcome,
sometimes he
shooting
smelled
star.
a little bad because he hadn't taken a shower or anything. But for the
Tim
most part,
says Tim says Dama enjoyed
yeah,
serving finger foods. It's horrible.
brain salad. Yeah.
Brain salad. I'll skip on the
Here, Tim's got it. Tim's got it down pat. Serial killers come from parents who never drank beer. Yeah.
This is terrible. Why am I laughing at it?
Hey, yeah, I don't have that problem. As a matter of fact, when I left,
Yeah, I'm.
my
If
dad
that's
made,
the criteria, I was quite safe not to be a serial killer.
yeah, just before I left, I had, I mean, my dad made sure that we went over to the liquors. There's a place. It's like an hour and a half drive from their house. And what they boast is they got 120,000 square foot the largest liquor store, in all of Arkansas. And they're probably right. They got 30,000 square foot walk-in, cooler, big huge pole barn basically, full of what if you want it and it's got alcohol in it. If the guy doesn't have it, I'd be surprised.
Lorna,
So
Shooting Star has been versed on to use that wrench as he sees fit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shooting star with a wrench. No, that's scary. And
He can
go ahead,
handle it.
try to throw me out.
He's well up to the job. But yeah, I mean these people. I mean, and it almost has like these killers, these serial killers. I mean, they have like their own fan clubs
Well, I
and
mean,
stuff.
here, well, like here, like Dahmer, Tim brings up Dahmer used to, mutilate,
Thanks for
domestic
coming, Chi.
animals is, yeah. And that seems, they used to think there was some kind of connection, but lately they're not seeing that. I mean, some of them, yeah. I read a book, FBI wrote 22 years. Yeah. But now they're seeing a different trend now in serial killers is, I mean, a lot of them were kind of lone in the past were loners and everything. Later, Chi, but they don't have
Mm.
a reference that much anymore because it seems lately like a lot of the serial killers aren't really loners anymore. They're not, these are family men, and
Well, they try to blend.
yeah, they blend more into society.
Yeah, they're working, functional. Just a couple of screws loose and go off and kill people.
Well, I mean, some of them, like the guy in Oklahoma, I mean, he said he was doing God's work when he killed these women.
Well, the religious nuts. That's a whole
Yeah,
category by
yeah.
itself.
Well, I mean,
Religious
yeah,
zealots are their own special
yeah.
category.
And I mean, it'd be interesting to see what this guy's religious views are. That and why is it that it seems like it's
Scott, I get the
all
feeling he didn't go to church often.
yeah, but I mean, well, not necessarily, but but where I get this question is why, okay, why is why is it that it always seems to be women, in this, for lack of a better term, in the sex trade, prostitutes, escorts, adult movies,
Yeah, they want to claim
whatever,
some
whatever.
moral high ground.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's, but it seems like serial killers, that's pretty much their whole thing, except for the women ones. The women ones usually go after, after the guys, looking to pick up women for a one night stand.
Highlight Tropical Tim's comment. He said, going forward, future serial killers will kill because they got their feelings hurt because someone misgendered them. You know what? No, Tim, I disagree with that. You know what they are? Those become our mass shooters.
Yeah.
The ones that get bullied, get picked on, or whatever.
Well, I mean,
they just do it all in one shot. Like they don't try to adapt to society. They just go batshit crazy and kill everybody all at once.
Yeah, your life is good. He's like me. He's got a bad back, so he can't pick up women. That's what
so stupid. It's funny.
That's what.
He's so poor he can't pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah, Lorna's got a question for you. Can one have a killer mind but never really done it?
I think 100% yes.
Now,
I might have thought about it once or twice in my life. I would say yes.
For people and for the uninformed, I remember when Lorna first started doing live streams.
I thought she wanted to kill me.
Yeah, when like F-bombs just dropped out of her mouth, like there was, like, oh, we're just fucking talking here.
Oh well, that to me is just talking. And you know what they say about people that curse a lot? They're actually very honest.
Yeah. But yeah,
I've said it before. That's how my family, we would all talk to each other. Like I could go out in the the professional world, work all day, never say a curse word, never have it even cross my mind. As soon as I get home, it's like, what the f is up?
Betty just broke the screen door, so BT's going to be in the background.
You go fix that, BT. Get
Yeah.
on it.
But anyways, no. But yeah, But I always, I said, yeah, it's pretty much, prostitutes and women of the eve that end up being victims of serial killers. Yeah. And I'd be kind of surprised if there wasn't, some kind of religious overtone in this guy's, case also, because even the ones like, what's his name that just died, the Unabomber, right? There was a slight religious overtone in that he attacked people because of the abortion issue.
Tropical Tim is killing it tonight. He says, "Killing has never entered my mind except for one ass neck that went to my fridge and helped himself to a beer." My father actually met Son of Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my father worked in a maximum security prison upstate, and he got transferred there just for a little while. But I think my father said he was the one who gave him his clothes or something, because they get to issue those prison clothes.
There, Lorna just summed it up. A Filipina in California killed her husband. I think we all have it in us.
Well, those are different. Those are crimes of passion normally. A crime of passion, just happens in the moment. Like, you don't go and plan it and methodically do it, and like all those couples that go on the cruise lines and only one of the people come back. That kind of thing.
Oh, I mean, hey, here's one for you. My wife gives me the killer look sometimes. Sometimes, B-Joy gives me that at least once a day.
Yeah, but she's with you, so I mean, just one a day seems very low number to me.
I said at least one a day.
I would be ballparking that around 10 times a day.
Here's the best part. Right? I can make a joke with her as we're driving in the car, and she says, "Oh my God, I can't believe you said what." I was joking. What if somebody heard you? We're going 65 miles an hour or 85 miles an hour down the road, down the interstate, with all the windows rolled up, the air conditioning on. Who exactly do you think was going to hear me make that comment?
Wait a minute. Life is Good as Balut John?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Look at the picture.
I can't see none of those pictures. All I see is shooting stars in his background there.
Oh, that's right.
In Lorna's picture, I just see a handsome man in Lorna there.
A handsome man in Lorna? No, not a handsome man, good-looking man.
Good-looking man.
Yeah. That was classic live, and it's almost as good as when Shooting Stars went to the bathroom and forgot to turn off his mic. Merc, what's up?
Welcome. Thanks for coming by. Why I can't get Ray to go to Manila.
I can't get Ray to go to Manila on the big to-go passenger ship. She knows better. I don't think. Tim, I put my money on Ray. Right? You'd be swimming home. Right?
And the way she would do it is she would tie a keg to you and throw it overboard.
No, she just throw it. Here.
But I think personally, though, I think Tim would be all right with that. Like if Ray tied I just said the word. What's the word? A keg to Tim of San Miguel, Dilson. I think he'd be all right with it.
Yeah, people in general like to think they're good people, but can also allow an evil thought to become an obsession. Very, very profound there, Bruce. Very profound.
Oh, Tim, it wouldn't be empty. She'll have more than one.
Yeah. Couple went on, see, Lorna says, hey, it happened, a couple went on a cruise last month. Only one came back. So every time I asked my husband if we could go on a cruise, he always didn't, decline. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. You know, Tim says empty kegs float. Well, see, that's why I said she wouldn't throw a keg; she'd throw a case of bottles over.
Something. It would have to still be in there though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with Tim though, you just might, throw the beer overboard and he'll jump off with it. Because Ray's smart, she's no dummy.
What else has been going on? So, hey, how's your retirement plan going?
It's going well. I'm pleased with it.
You still shooting for 50?
Yep. Next year I'll be 50, and that's when I'm retiring. No, I feel good. I think next year, I personally, I think I could do it tomorrow, but I want to still want to make sure because I don't want to have to come back with my tail tucked between my legs and have to look for work again. So I want to be real sure about it.
Oh yeah. But I was laughing. Somebody's asking me about investing in that, and when I was in Arkansas, and I don't do that bad. I mean, Friday I took a pounding. I mean, I lost like 2.5%. But
yeah, all my stuff bounced back and is ahead.
Yeah, what's funny? You know what I lost most of my, I lost almost all my money on?
Crypto?
No, I don't do crypto.
Hey, I got into the crypto game a couple years ago. I put in $1,000 and I had turned it into 400, but now it's back up to 800. So
yeah,
things are looking good, man.
Yeah, but I mean that's no, but I don't do that. But no, what took a tanking was gas, natural gas, oil, and shipping. Because I was traveling Friday and I did, and I was thinking about yanking some of that and moving it around. And, when I got up Friday morning and I left Arkansas, before I left, I'll just let it ride. Good.
Yeah,
I mean,
the crypto to me was, akin to just going to a casino. So, it's not my real retirement plan.
I mean, my Budweiser buy is up like $13 a share. Budweiser called me quickly.
Yeah, no, that would be a good time to buy. You're right. Yeah. Eventually, they'll just change the name, rebrand it, put horses in the American flag and girls with big tits on the commercials.
Yeah, like I said, fortune betting. I never figured Rodgers to go to the Lions. I figured he's gonna end up where he did out there in New York. What's the Dow? What's the Dow at now?
That guy, man, Aaron Rodgers, he's loving New York City.
Oh yeah,
he's at everything. Like if there's a rock concert, if there's he was at the Taylor Swift show dancing. He goes to the other sporting events. Like he's all about it. Like he's in heaven here. I guess after living so many years in a place where there's absolutely nothing except cows and cheese to visit, he's enjoying a nightlife.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's like the Joe Namath. Hey, he's going to come in there. His numbers will never look very good, but he's going to be the Broadway Joe of 2023-24.
And the Dow was at 34,509.
Yeah, which isn't bad when you consider. I was reading an article and he said, well, what happened to this great recession that we were going to get last year? Last year at this time, everybody, inflation, this, that, Uh, None of this happened. Right? The economy never went into recession. I don't know. There was a brief period of inflation. We now have the lowest inflation for all of the industrialized nations. We're below 3%. The Fed's probably, I'm thinking, the Feds are not going to raise rates. They're going to let them sit.
Scott, what's mezcal reposado? Is that tequila?
Let's see.
The scorpion in
Yeah,
the bottle?
yeah.
Tequila. Quesadilla tequila.
Yeah, it's not really that good. Yeah. I mean, the scorpion in the bottle thing's been around for a long time.
Yeah, well,
I guess the idea of dropping a dead scorpion in your tequila was, it's sort of like the worm in a.
yeah.
It's just it's just a gimmick.
Well, I do actually like the taste of tequila a
Here,
lot. But the thing is that anytime I drink it, it usually ends up with me waking up on the bathroom floor or in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So I tend to stay away from it, even though I enjoy the taste.
I mean, for a lot of women, I mean, tequila makes their clothes fall off, but in your case, I wouldn't want that.
Well, I'm not a Girl Scout, so you shouldn't. But
I got,
in your case, it wouldn't let your little worm work if you drank too much tequila.
Yeah. Tim says, yeah, Aaron, Rogers got burned out on beer, brats, cheese, and fat girls.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Even though I like a few of those things.
Yeah. Merck's like me. Yeah.
Hey,
I did
Dennis
too.
Adam.
I went to the Philippines.
Welcome in, Dennis Adam.
Hey, Dennis, how's it going? But yeah, but back to your serial killer. You're going to find out that I'm guessing there's going to be some religious annotation in there somewhere.
Did you ever watch the show Dexter?
No.
You see, that was like one of my top favorite shows. And Dexter, he was a serial killer that did exactly this stuff. Like he lived a normal life. In fact, he was in the forensic of the police department. He was like the blood splatter guy.
Oh, okay.
And so he had a sister, and then he eventually had a wife and kids. But going through it, he like did everything normal except that, well, in the story of the show, he would kill people, but he would only kill the other serial killers or murderers that got away with it. The law couldn't catch him, and he got him. He chopped them up, bagged them up, and dropped them in the bottom of the Miami Ocean. And he did it for years.
Well, I mean, yeah. So the guy works in the forensics office.
Yeah, he would go out in the field, take a look at the blood splatter, give them his opinion, what happened. So he was like an expert in the field.
Yeah.
And that's why when he would do his killing, like he would have the whole room, plasticed up, drop cloths and stuff like that. He'd make it very neat, saw them apart, just like la da da da, nothing. Get rid of the body, and then get up and go to work the next day. But that also made him very effective at his job because he was able to find other killers.
Let's see. What is Mercury saying here? Don't need beer goggles in the Philippines, only a twig avoidance system. Yeah. But here, Tim says, would I be considered a serial killer if I ate an entire box of Fruity Pebbles? Well, not if you were in Texas. I mean, because Fruity Pebbles seem to be what Texas is built out of.
And if you were Arkansas, that would be required eating.
Yeah. Well, we won't even go into some of what they consider manly men in Arkansas. I mean, it's like my nephew who lives in Texas. Sent me a picture of his new cowboy boots. Wow. And I ain't saying cowboy boots are gay, but pretty much they are.
They're not gay if you're an actual cowboy, though.
Oh no, they I mean, they put
If you
these
live
little,
in if you live in New York City and dress up like a cowboy, I would say, yeah, that's a little bit
I mean,
strange.
I mean,
But
yeah,
if you're, if you actually are a cowboy, I think it's
I mean,
fine.
there's one guy. I mean, cowboy hat and his underwear and a guitar, and yeah, he made something into it. But okay, hey,
Oh
yeah,
my,
Lorna, yeah, okay. If you're driving, definitely.
oh my God, I completely missed the joke. Dennis Adams spelled it out for me. Yes, you would be a serial killer. You
Yeah,
understand? Because he ate a lot of cereal. You know,
cereal, yeah.
that went right over my head. Duck, look out.
I mean, there's a reason that they say,
Good night,
you know,
Lorna. Thanks for joining.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
but there's a reason they say, Texas is the land of steers and queers.
I don't see no horn, so you must be a.
But actually, no,
What was that?
West
That was
Texas.
from Officer and a Gentleman. What
I
is
don't know.
that? Was that the movie with Mayo?
I don't remember where that came from. I mean, I've heard it all my life, actually, long before it was ever in a movie.
The drill sergeant was trying to get him quit, and he looked up. Don't you do it! I got nowhere left to go. Nowhere left to go. That movie.
I don't, whatever that one was. I think that was
Officer
about,
and a Gentleman.
was it Officer and a Gentleman? I don't know.
Love lift us off where we belong.
Yeah, shooting star just jumped in and said, yes, an officer and a gentleman. I've known a lot of officers and very few were gentlemen. But
Is that a
anyway,
dig?
I want, what was this? What's this? I want steer wrestling in Crow Agency, Montana, whether it's high school. On a Crow Indian Reservation. Okay. Yeah. So shooting star, yeah, verified it was officer and gentleman and Mayo. Whoever Mayo
Good enough for me.
Who's Mayo?
Mayo was he was the one trying to become a fighter pilot.
All right.
And ended up with that ugly girl. It was such a story.
So, all right. So, anyways, back to where we were.
Serial killing.
Why you want to, Well, no, I said, like you were saying about serial killers. So that,
Yes,
mind?
that's the name I couldn't think of. Richard Gere.
Oh yeah, he was in a couple of movies back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, he was big back then.
Yeah, he was the heartthrob of all the women.
Oh, he was in a few good movies too. But that's all I had, Scott. I just wanted to come on for a little while and say hello to everybody. You could stay on. Feel free. It's your live stream.
Stick around for a couple minutes yet. But
Louis Gossett Jr. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I never watched the.
It was a great movie, man.
Yeah, I never watched it, so I can't say why. Probably because I either wasn't in the country or I wasn't a Richard Gere kind of guy.
Oh, I was as a child.
I hear new movie, Sound of Freedom. It's true.
I heard about it.
It's based off of a true story.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. And there's not a lot of truth to it, but it is based off of a true story. Just as a lot of movies that were made based off of true stories. A lot of speculation, a lot of dramatization, a lot of hearsay.
They do that with all stories that they adapt from true stories.
Well, I mean, but there's people out there acting like this is an actual biography or something, and it's not.
No, it's not a documentary. It's a movie.
No, it's not a documentary.
Dirty Dancing. That's right. Pretty Women. He was in all the great movies back then.
No, I saw Dirty Dancing. He wasn't in Dirty Dancing.
Yes,
It
he
was
was.
Patrick
He's the
Swayze.
one who said nobody puts baby in the corner or something like that.
Well, I guess I didn't recognize. I remember Patrick Swayze in that, and what was the gal's name?
Oh, the one that played the hooker with the red hair.
Yeah.
In Pretty Woman. I never thought she was hot. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. Yeah, I mean, so back to the Sound of Freedom. I haven't seen it. You know, don't really care to. But,
You know something? I don't even remember.
When people come out and say, "Oh, this is all true," it's a movie, right? Movies based off of true, off of true events. There's a reason they put those huge disclaimers in there that say, this is all, yeah.
I don't even remember the last time I
To
saw a
get
movie
worked
in a movie
get worked
theater.
up over a movie is kind of silly, right? You know, and I was reading something, there's certain groups out there screaming, oh, this new movie, The Sound of Freedom, yeah, it's more, biggest movie ever. Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, Avatar still blows them all out of the water. So, what is it? Well, here, how can I critique it? Because I mean, I've read the critiques about it. I mean, I don't have any interest to watch it because there again, I don't watch a lot of movies. But when somebody comes out and says, "Oh, it's based off a true story," I mean, if it was true, they wouldn't put those disclaimers in and say, it's not, right? And and if you're a crying little pussy, right, then you make those kind of comments where you call people cake eating ass necks, right? Don, what's up, Davo? Don, right? Yeah. But I guess that was supposed to hurt my feelings. Ooh, it didn't. Sorry.
What?
I guess somebody said something that was supposed to hurt my. Yeah. It's supposed to be based on true events, yeah, and that's what it's based on. But the movie itself is no indication that anything in the movie actually happened as it's portrayed.
Hey, Don, welcome. Scoot, if you haven't seen it, how can you critique it? You
Yeah.
couch sitting, cake eating a snack. Oh, that about sums you up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great shot. It's a great shot. But then again, I guess it's supposed to hurt my feelings, and it didn't. Yeah.
Don, I went long in XRP, Don. XRP, spread the word. Don has like 20,000 Twitter followers.
Yeah.
You could just tell Don a stock, he mentions it, and you can either short it or buy it or whatever you're going to do.
Or whatever I do.
He's an influencer on Twitter. Yeah, I love him.
What? Yeah, Hollywood people are weird. Well, I mean, now all the actors and writers are on strike. So now what are they going to do? I mean, what have the snowflakes got to complain about now? I mean, they can't complain about the Hollywood, people putting out movies they don't like, right? XRP. And I read something a couple of weeks about XRP.
Yeah, they kind of like a partial win on the lawsuit against the SEC. Yeah, so now, I think Coinbase is letting people buy and sell it. Mm-hmm. I think it's up like 60% since they did it or something. But to me, that's going to be its biggest pop. It's not going to go nowhere from there.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it mostly was doing with. Let's see. Hollywood's moving to Texas. Not really. I mean, well, first of all, Hollywood needs electricity, and Texas doesn't have it. I mean, their grid's about ready to collapse.
Why? Oh, you're very far behind on comments.
Yeah. Let's see.
Good night, Merc. Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Later, Merc.
All right, Scott. I promised my people that I'll keep my side to an hour or less. So
okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna call it quits here in a minute.
All right. Good talking to you, weirdo. Have a good one.
I'm gonna go out and figure out what's going on. Why the air conditioner stopped running now? The temperature's dropped down below 150,000 degrees or whatever.
Fix that shit. Go fix that. I mean, why is BJ with you if you can't go fix that?
Well, like I said, it's sitting in the sun. I told her, I said, when it's when it's time.
Don, my Yankees are the last place Yankees.
Hey, the temperature has now dropped down to 106 degrees. I mean, I'm almost going to have to wear a coat. Or 104. Just it's down to 104.
All right, I'm out.
The sun's going to set here in a couple of minutes. I mean, it might drop down to into the high 90s. Anyways, later, bud. Anyways, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it short too, because like I said, I'm gonna go out and take a look at the air conditioner. Y'all take care. God bless.